Portland Hearts of Pine lineup, brought to you by NBT Bank. In goal, number 1, Hunter Morse. Captain and midfielder, number 5, Mikey Lopez. Making his Springers Jewelers milestone 50th appearance for the club, number 66, Emily Green. Defender, number 2, Jaden Jones-Riley. Defender, number 22, Rack Evans. Defender, number 99, Joshua Draft. Midfielder, number 8, Michelle Boone-Angeron. Midfielder, number 10, Ollie Rice. Midfielder, number 11, J.T. Conmara. Midfielder, number 16, Diego Gonzalez. And forward, number 9, Abubakar Conmara. Hearts are led by head coach Bobby Murphy, assistant coach Alex Ryan, and goalkeeper coach Yuda Nomura.
Welcome one, welcome all to a hazy summer buzz amidst the high pines of Portland. We invite you once more and always to the soul-lifting swell of Fitzpatrick Stadium, where this evening's match is presented by Visit Maine. It's a fixture of the blue chip kind tonight. The USL League One standard setter Union Omaha perched neatly at the table's top, waiting for them. Portland Hearts of Pine urgently compelled to once more rediscover the form that has been so elusive for them. Howdy, folks. With the coach, Eric Dobransky, I'm Peyton Gallagher. This is your table. Union Omaha right up at the tippy top of things, just narrowly trailing one Knoxville now on points. Portland Hearts of Pine in 10th, needing to start to pick up those points to make up the ground towards the playoff line.
And Peyton, anytime you have two ambitious clubs meet, especially ones that are currently chasing different objectives in the standings, it's a result that could be a springboard for the second half of the season.
The standings are presented by Allagash Brewing Company. As for the home side, to this point in the year, you look at maybe some of the ups and downs, and they are explained away by the inconsistency in the personnel. 28 players used the most in the league, 12 separate goal scorers, that's tied for the most, and they have fielded a different lineup combination for every game.
Change in rotation is not always ideal when you're looking for those repeatable performances, but what it's done for Portland Hearts of Pine is it's enhanced their depth, their impact, players within the team, and that'll be a real strength over this next 16 matches.
Now, if there has been a constant mixed in anywhere in that, it has been this man, Ollie Wright, always the main man. He is your Springer's Jewelers player to watch. A hat trick last time out at home against Union Omaha was the first in club history a year ago.
It possesses a unique ability to influence every phase of the attack, but it goes well beyond the goals he scores. His movement, timing, the ability to occupy attention that creates the space that Portland needs to really generate and have that attack come alive. And in a match like tonight, they'll want to punish Union Omaha.
He has the most goals in the last 365 days in the league with 13. This man has the second most. Sergio Navarro coming off a brace last game against Westchester.
Yeah, excellent movement that is matched with high acumen for what the moment calls for. Combines technical ability and instinctual finishing, which is going to benefit not only him as he attacks the box tonight, but his side as they look to build possession, but also be very purposeful with where they exploit.
It all sets up for a matchup of colossal import, maybe even greater drama. That's coming up next. It's Union Omaha on the road to face the Portland Hearts of Pine in their mighty home venue. We're excited to bring it to you. It's lineups, it's kickoff, and it's up next. All coming up here in the USL League One when we return from the great state of Maine.
We move differently here, not in a rush, but in rhythm. We rise with the tide, cook with our hands, and speak when it matters. We pass on what's felt more than said. We laugh by firelight and stop to notice what others once saw. Every moment here means more because nothing is taken for granted. This is Maine, rooted in time, forged by nature.
You might think it's easier to start tomorrow, or next week, or next year. But at Maine Health, we believe your best self starts today. Our local programs and care teams are here to educate and motivate healthy choices and habits, while nationally renowned specialists provide you with leading-edge treatments and personalized care options. We're always on your team, in your corner, and by your side. That's health and care in harmony.
Every save I make matters to my team. Now, those saves matter in a bigger way.
For every save made by a Hearts of Pine goalkeeper, Kennebec Savings Bank donates $100 to youth soccer programs right here in Maine. It's a promise to invest in confidence, leadership, and access for the next generation of players. At Kennebec Savings Bank, we believe in the power of community and the impact of every single save.
It's hard to believe that Tom's of Maine natural toothpaste can remove 95% of surface stains while protecting your enamel. But if nature can make a lake pink, you better believe a natural toothpaste can make your teeth white.
It's incredible.
Nature is full of surprises. Tom's of Maine White and Plus toothpaste. Never underestimate nature.
Tonight's broadcast is presented by Hannaford. lineups coming in, presented by NBT Bank, and for the home side of Portland Hearts of Pine. Again, it's another shift today as incoming are JT Kamara and Mikey Lopez from that 2-1 loss against Boise.
Yeah, intentional chaos and aggressive tempo is the name of the game. How do you initiate it? How do you sustain it? Diego Gonzalez is going to have a loud impact on the match, reinforcing the team's off-the-ball identity, but also maximizing what they generate going forward.
For the roadside, Union Omaha, it is a raft of changes coming off that 2-2 draw against Westchester 6 to be precise, one of the deepest teams in the league.
Yeah, welcome Marlon Vargas, a dynamic presence. They're going to be a team that wants to control tempo, and in order to do that, they're going to have to play through pressure. Vargas can provide that valuable outlet, and then in possession, rest defense is going to be so important. Jensen's going to lead that charge.
Marlon Vargas makes his debut today for Union Omaha in the starting capacity. But for now, the sound of the pulse of the Hearts. And it's live. Denny Klasenek is the center official. He will turn the light green. It's Portland. It's Union Omaha on a Wednesday night in the USL League One. Once more with the coach, Eric Dobransky. I'm Peyton Gallagher. Portland, a loss at the last time out across the country at Boise, falling 2-1 in stoppage time. Prior to that, had won 3 in a row, trying to get back to those winning ways. It's a Union Omaha team that have been one of the league's best from wire to wire. Currently on the season with 10 victories already to only 5 losses, but all of those have come on the road for Vincenzo Candela and Los Buhos. Bobby Murphy was not shy to remark to us, Eric, in the build-up to this game that Portland, even more so, to their typical accustomment, will be up and at Union Omaha, but they had defending to do here. Gutierrez in behind. Diego Gutierrez can't pick the lock, and away it goes. There's a certain cadence to games played in this venue.
Well, then that right there was something that Bobby Murphy had told us this week was going to be important and has been important for his team thus far, is staying in plays. You get broken by one play at midfield, that's fine. Find the support runner and the additional runs to get in behind, get back defensively, and no harm, no foul. You got dispossessed in midfield, but you still put yourself in a position to make a big play and keep this game at 0-0.
It has been those small slack moments that have hurt Portland this year in a big way compared to the back end of last year. They failed to keep a clean sheet in 16 consecutive games now. Bobby Murphy, last season, the big difference, he said, this team learned how to win 1-0. That's what's been missing for Portland today.
And starting tonight, you have 16 matches to start to build that rhythm, gain that traction, and this is a team with all its purposes, has the capabilities and the qualities to go on not only a run to make that playoff push, but be one of the scarier teams to play in the playoffs.
Will remain on for Josh Drack to put his laces to it. Looks like Ollie Wright might keep it on. Again, the author of that historic hat trick the last time these two teams engaged between these 4 lines, but it's out of play there. Lawrence Wooten. And Sami Khediri spraying down the line into the channel. In to contest is Kamali Green, and it's out over the end line. Will be a goal kick. Tonight's keys to the game are presented by Pape Chevrolet. Eric, how do you assess this situation tonight?
Yeah, for Portland, score first. I mean, it is so imperative in the way that they want to play, the aggressiveness that they want to play with, the chaos that they want to ensue, that they score first, and what that does for the game. And for Union Omaha, play through chaos. The pressure's going to be there. The identity's there on the ball for Union Omaha. How do you go about engaging in certain areas, playing through the pockets of space, but then also adding that final variable in the final third?
It should be massive tonight if a team can find a first half goal. On display this evening, the top 2 scoring teams in terms of second half production. 20 goals on the year for Union Omaha, 18 for Portland. Games start to spark up late. If the team can find something to protect early, it could set a different kind of tempo here tonight.
And sometimes that bodes well for teams because it showcases their ability to grow into matches, identify areas in which they can punish teams and reward themselves.
Scoped in over the top. Second ball won by Union Omaha. It looked like Wooten, who was trying to play a cheeky chested touch, and Union Omaha will collect it again. Wide it goes. Aron Gomez having a rip, and Hunter Morse, who put his paws all over it. Owusu. Cole Jensen back in goal today for Union Omaha. Hadn't started the last 3 matches with Rashid Nuhu holding down that role. Conceded the most goals he's ever conceded in a League One game a year ago when these 2 teams locked horns on this field. Flung skyward, Owusu puts his head in again. Michel Punandron. Lawrence Wooten driving out of the tackle of JT Kamara. Snapped up by Jaden Jones-Riley, but first to foul. Bit of a blind ball in behind. Hunter Morris will make easy work of. 6 saves for him. Last match against AC Boise, he was a busy boy between the pipes. Player in USL League One has made more saves since the start of June, since Hunter Morse's involvement has been so prevalent, as he will catch that clean once more.
And what you get with both these goalkeepers is gifted in all of the attributes that you need to be an elite goalkeeper, but also with the way that they command and communicate with back lines and the collective. When you can be direct and intentional with the way that you organize your team and set them up, it is a recipe to be not only effective, but efficient and very progressive in the way that you want to play.
Led the league in saves a year ago. He would like it for his job to start to get a little bit easier at some point. JT Kamara, a rattling tackle from Diego Gutierrez, and foul is called.
Yeah, saves always one of those stats where you're glad you're leading because it means you're making the saves when you need to make them, but it also, you do want to fine tune and refine the way that you're able to protect the box and protect those vital areas of when opponents are able to present those scoring opportunities. We see a foul at midfield.
It's like Yunus Budati. Got a mark left on him by Ollie Wright. Budati could be a big part of today's proceedings. The league's leader in terms of open play crosses by a wide margin with 87. For the time being, it's Omaha exploring the opposite flank and doing so to no avail. Throwing to come.
So often what goes unnoticed with the chance creation that you were just talking about that you get with Budati is the recognition and the timing that it takes to be that effective. Have your presence and influence felt at that consistent level, and then you add the quality of the service, somebody that influences both halves of the field.
And over the touchline, a good time to visit in with tonight's injury report presented by Maine Health. Both sides reporting none, but a couple of bumps and bruises up and down the lineups. No Kempis Tequila in the 18, notably today for Union Omaha for the 2nd consecutive game. Breck Evans. Portland have yet to establish any kind of real estate in the final third so far, nearing 10 minutes played.
And that's just going to be the ability to grow into releasing that midfield line, because right now you can see that front line is able to gain some territory, get higher up the field, but now you need that midfield line to join you, because some of those knockdown balls, some of those second and third actions are going to be in those areas.
It's given away into the middle, and 1-0! Diego Gonzalez! Gonzalez goes it again, and Portland are right where they want to be. That is more like it.
Well, as I'm requesting the midfield to climb into those areas and join the attack, the savviness and recognition that they have on this pressing trigger, and Bobby Murphy had talked about the sustainability of the chaos that they want to create and generate. And right there, the play starts out with a knockdown that goes back into possession for Union Omaha, but they continue to work. They're relentless in the space they're occupying in front of them. Put themselves in such aggressive positioning right there, and Diego Gonzalez able to tuck that one away and get the opening goal that they were so desperately wanting to start this match.
Man with a point to prove since coming in on loan from Houston Dynamo. You can now make that 5 goals in his first 7 appearances. This goal is brought to you by Oakhurst Dairy. And for the Hearts, it's one that is exactly according to the blueprint for Bobby Murphy, who wanted to press Union Omaha. That press pays dividends in a way that really it hasn't much this year, Eric.
Well, it's an interesting scenario, because when you're the road team, you want to keep it at 0-0 or score first so that you can get the crowd and the support, kind of minimize some of that involvement. But when you're the home team and you have a community and support like this, score first, you just ignite the energy that's already there. And now this team, 12 minutes in, is going to be flying around, so aggressive, and some of those finer margins and some of those details that'll pay dividends.
It has been so difficult for Portland to find the kind of structure that they had a year ago in the press because of the absence of Masashi Wada, who had that early injury. But returning the favor here and winning the ball up higher, Union Omaha rolled in, and Hunter Morris has the reading of it. It was Marlon Vargas on his starting debut who was trying to make a good first impression.
Well, and I do think they're going to have to solve what Union Omaha is able to generate along this left side. Right now, since the opening whistle, it has been Union Omaha getting into that half space and doing it not in isolation. They're doing it with good numbers. They just have not able to build some of the numbers on that far post or centrally. They've kind of had to stick to some narrow advantages, some difficult takes from challenging angles, but you're going to want to start to minimize. What a ball here.
On the receiving end, it's Gonzalez, who's almost too good for him. Got stuck underneath his boot. Wusu funneled forward. Make no mistake about it, the next 30 minutes will be crucial for Union Omaha. Just trying to take some of the tension out of this game after falling behind early.
Well, and going back to the point of consistency within the rotations, the lineups, when you are a team that wants to cause havoc and chaos, yes, that is easier said than done, but when you can't do it in a collective manner, then you're almost doing the complete reverse. You're kind of pulling that chaos and havoc upon yourself because you're detached. The spaces in between the lines.
Slotted wide, Gutierrez, and just about wrangled away by Jaden Jones-Riley. First touch let him down.
Portland living on the edge in this half space, but when you get in good support and you get in good positions to challenge, you make it difficult for your opponent, as we see Shenzo Candela going to be disappointed with the start, but is going to have full belief that the way that his team executes and is able to manipulate space on the ball in possession is going to get his team back in this match. I mean, 27 goals scored for, that's third most, tied for third most. 268 shots, that's most in USL League One.
Take it one step further. Since Vincenzo Candela got the job last season, just a little more than a year ago, Omaha have gained a league-high 20 points from losing positions, and nearly looked like it was about to come off straight away there.
Oh, I mentioned earlier some of the characteristics and qualities when you're a team that can score those second half goals. I mean, picking up points from winning positions. I mean, a lot of coaches talk about box to box, that balance in both boxes. But when you can be a team that is that ruthless and that punishing when you go down a goal, that is something that makes you not only difficult to handle in the regular season, but makes you an incredibly tough out come playoff time.
Omaha starting to bare their teeth now a little bit. A couple of close calls in defense for Portland. All the way back to Cole Jensen. Watched on to by Mikey Lopez, but it's given right back. Across coming, Gutierrez has leveled it straight away. Diego Gutierrez buries an equalizer at the stroke of the quarter-hour mark, and it's 1-1.
This is a player that just continuously is tremendous at hunting space and upgrading the areas, and you see his team able to win possession and reading the press extremely well. Having your opponent facing their own goal is always a challenge to build out of tight areas, and then the ability to climb into that space, and you catch defenders off guard because they're in the build, they're in possession, but then as soon as you transition, able to get yourself in the 6-yard box, tuck away. It is now the equalizer for his side, game on.
He had not scored in 5 games. That was the longest goal drought for him so far this season for Union Omaha. Hadn't even put a shot on target in the last 4. Too many chances for him in this early stage of the game, and he was always going to make them pay eventually.
Well, for Union Omaha, they're going to look at the opening goal that they conceded as a miscue in the build. Now, credit to Portland Hearts of Pine, their ability to press and cause havoc and then be in positions to have that breakthrough. But for Union Omaha, they're gonna feel like they still had momentum since the opening whistle in terms of their front-footed nature, the tempo that they were setting, especially in that wide channel on the left side. And this time, you're able to pick off some link-up play and then go right to goal.
On the turn, Mikey Lopez. Now JT Kamara rambling and running, leaving many behind him. Final pass was not well threaded enough, but Portland counter-pressing in mass. Nearly got another bite at it by way of Michel Boone-Angeron. For Diego Gutierrez, that's goal number 6 a moment ago for Union Omaha on the year, and it apparently is the day of Diego's. Gutierrez on one end and Gonzalez on the other. Whistle comes.
Well, we're at 1-1, 18 minutes in. I mean, we knew we were in for a high-quality match. I mean, we are only getting started. The ebbs and flows, storylines that are going to play out.
It's always funny. We talk to enough coaches in this league, especially ones that are coming to play in this venue. And it's a bit of a mixed bag, I guess, emotionally, of how these managers view the opportunity to play at Fitzpatrick Stadium. Vincenzo Candela said, yeah, you know what? I'm not that excited to come and play here. A lot of coaches will say they want to see how their team reacts in this environment. That being said, he has to be thrilled with how his team is taking one on the chin and stood in the middle of the ring anyway.
Well, he said it. This is a business trip for us. And that is exactly the way that they've approached it. Obviously, you take the early hit with conceding 10 minutes in, but the response has been terrific. And now it's on Portland Hearts of Pine to generate their response, and a lot of that is going to have to be in some of these second and third actions.
Don't you just love that? Two of the leagues, I know Portland have struggled, but best clubs coming together. What do you have up your sleeve? Okay, that's what I got. All right, let's play.
Yeah, two stubborn teams as well. Two teams that do not want to change their identity for anyone.
Gutierrez, the author of the first goal for Omaha. A well-weighted ball for Sergio. Where's Navarro? Kamali Green had to come good, and he did. Big block.
And sometimes when you have two teams that are set in their ways and want to, and I mean set in their ways in a very endearing sense, where these are two teams that know who they are and know how to upgrade in what the game is commanding of them and demanding in some of those scenarios.
So we've already got 2 goals here. It's a little bit of a flip of the script. When you look at the full data set for the entire season, two teams that have struggled to find offense in the early going, but have been elite scoring in the second half. So in your mind, how does that change the game now that we're at 1-1?
I think now that we're level, I think at 1-0, it definitely would present some moments where you get away from some of the identity. You see some uncharacteristic kind of force plays going forward, but now that you leveled it, and you leveled it in a manner of rewarding yourself in pressure, now you get back to both teams trying to find their footing and execute it at high level where they're sharpening what they're doing. Obviously, Union Omaha is doing a tremendous job of getting themselves in the second and third phase. I still think there's more out there for Portland in this match. I mean, they just have not been able to settle control. We have not seen a lot of Ollie Wright thus far.
They are searching for it now. JT Kamara advancing the ball and winning a throw. Kamara back in the starting 11 today. Only played 1 minute off the bench last match against AC Boise. Hadn't started in 3 games coming into this one. But when they need a spark, oftentimes they do turn to number 11 in this part of the country. A lot of firepower behind the striker, Boubacar Kamara, today with JT Kamara, Diego Gonzalez, and of course, the effervescent Ollie Wright. Josh Drack. Another scouting delivery into the area on a rainbow arc over the head of Breck Evans. Gutierrez dicing with danger. JT Kamara went early, went bitelessly and off the bounce. It comes back to Cole Jensen. It's another moment, though, Eric, where the pressure nearly really hurt.
Well, and that's the unique challenge that both these teams present, albeit in different elements. But they don't need to be in rhythm to create opportunities. I mean, Portland has generated a handful of chances, and all of them loud, and all of them in areas that can definitely hurt Union Omaha. As we see another foul on Ors Navarro at midfield. He's having to drop in and generate some of that space.
And there is Bobby Murphy. Effectively, at this point, you might as well just call him the mayor of the town. Just surpassing 50 career wins. Looking for win 23 here today with Portland's. Launched in over the top. Jaden Jones-Riley will see it out. Tossed back in by Gadiri. Omaha have led the league by a massive margin this year in terms of many of the statistics used to measure dominance. One of the big ones has been field tilt. Just at about 65% of play in the games that they have played this year has occurred in the attacking half. They just lean on their opposition. Nobody within 10% of them this year. Another case in point moment as it's alarm bells inside the box. It was Gadiri arriving on the scene. And it's another throw-in for Union Omaha, but they just overwhelm team's focus. Hard to sit and defend your box like this for 90 minutes.
It is, and it definitely highlights their recognition, their awareness, and the positional play, because it is one thing to set yourself up in a structure, but it is also another to recognize what an opponent is taking away and where they're making you play around. And that is what Union Omaha does such a tremendous job of doing, as we see the passes in the final third.
It only takes one, though, for Portland to change the whole game, nearly getting in behind there to Diego Gonzalez, and that will likely define this match. Both managers seem to have an astute understanding of where this one was tracking to. Omaha are going to dominate the ball in the attacking half, but they've been vulnerable, if not fragile, in transition, a place where Portland are great.
Well, and that's going to be the tricky and delicate balance, because you were just talking about it is difficult to defend your half of the field for 90 minutes, but it's also difficult to create some sort of proximity and structure, because can you get vertical on Union Omaha? And I think that's where a lot of teams have kind of threatened them as being direct, but you also have to have the lines connected in those moments.
Absolutely. Turn to ESPN2 on Saturday, July 25th for a high-octane USL Championship clash. Detroit City SC look to defend their home turf against an unpredictable Las Vegas light side at 7 p.m. Eastern. Catch all the action on ESPN2 on July 25th. Detroit been one of the upstart teams all year. Las Vegas, that big comeback win last time out against San Antonio. That's a tasty one.
Yeah, surging Las Vegas light side. Devin Rensing, Coach of the Week, USL Championship. In the West in the USL Championship,
yeah.
I mean, that is razor-thin margins. I think they're 1 point off of being above the playoff line. So that'll be a big matchup against top East opponent.
I think this table's tight, and it is. Just have a peek at the Western Conference in the USL Championship. And worthwhile to mention that that is a good bit of forbearance, maybe, for what is to come with promotion and relegation in the near future.
You talk about a playoff picture. The West is separated from top to bottom, 13 points.
Sweet turn from JT Kamara. The ball couldn't match. Nearly got it back. Another diving, stabbing tackle put in by Mikey Lopez. Union Omaha keep their nerve, and now they have green pasture to explore. It's Lawrence Wooten with plenty of company with him, and the final ball is overhit. Goal kick to come. Watch the USL Championship in Spanish on 2DNA, the nation's leading Spanish language sports network. USLChampionship.com, the complete USL TV listings.
You've now seen it in some of the attacks for Union Omaha through this first 27 minutes is the adaptability and the flexibility that they present. A lot of players, yes, they're starting at an outside position, or they're starting centrally, or they're starting up front, but their ability to unbalance a team based on their movement, talked about the positional play, but also their overall understanding of other players and what they might need in situations is so important. I mean, even that dribble and drive right there by Wooten. Cabral has done a tremendous job of drifting out along that right side, and you just go across the board. Talked about Boudadi's chance creation. You don't do that by just being stuck in one place.
So many moments already where one more ounce of focus, one more ounce of quality, and this game's already looking different in its topography. Both teams just need to find that little edge for the separation to come. They've been in each other's face, that's for sure. Back to Jensen. Righted the pressure a little bit with a first touch that was nearly faulty. Jaden Jones-Riley wins the first header, then wins the second, and flag was up for offside anyway. And Eric, we're getting a heavy dose of a lot of splashes of skill across the board. Look at this.
Yeah, tremendous playmaking right here. And then defensively getting himself back in the play. And that's what is going to define this match, is not necessarily the first action. Obviously, the first action will go on to kind of write the story, but that second and third, getting yourself back in, making the tackle just like that, just shows the energy and the passion that is in this matchup.
That is Sergio Orznavaro, the number 9, tracking that all the way down, getting it out for a corner kick. Wow. This corner kick is presented by the County Federal Credit Union. And it's a moment of opportunity for Portland Hearts of Pine, who have been much better in this area on these dead balls than they were a year ago. Goals shared inside the first quarter hour, one by Diego Gutierrez of Union Omaha, one by Diego Gonzalez of Portland Hearts of Pine. This will be an uncomfortable moment for Cole Jensen in net. Played short, it's something choreographed. Lifted away by Owusu. A shot off the half volley comes screaming wide. Didn't look like Cole Jensen was too bothered anyway, but it was a bitter strike from outside the box by Josh Drack.
And this ball just pops off that left foot of Drack. Anytime you go short, you're trying to vacate space, you're trying to thin out the box. Give yourself a different look and mix in when you go direct and when you go short.
Correct me if I'm wrong, it does feel like it maybe sometimes changes the rhythm of the second phase after a team's already reacted once. Ball in behind, and Hunter Morse is up to it.
Oh, 100%. You're spot on, and that's where you feel like, especially in a matchup like this for Portland Hearts of Pine, getting a footing in the match. Can you do it on set pieces, dead ball restarts? I think the bigger issue right now, and I say issue kind of sparingly, is just that they're not able to cause some of that havoc in the Union Omaha defensive half. They're having to do it here in their defensive half. They're picking up possession in moments like this, and you're kind of seeing them sputter out and kind of miscue. But Union Omaha is not a team that punishes themselves, and I know that probably is off base just from the fact that the first goal was kind of caused from a poor pass in the build, but overall they are not a team that beats themselves and kind of brings upon this kind of havoc. And this is going to be the moment where Portland is going to want to pick up the ball higher up the field. But again, Union Omaha doing a terrific job of getting themselves up the field.
Here they come again. Gutierrez, the goal scorer, trying to get in on the right. It's a shot from just outside the box, traveling over goal. It was bending, it wasn't dipping for Marlon Vargas.
They're doing a good job of building, but then going vertical and then putting themselves in a position to pick up that next play. And they do it collectively, they do it with...
Running out in behind, and a quick strike. Gabriel Cabral makes it 2-1 on the skip. A blinding break from Los Bujos. That'll smart.
Again, for Union Omaha, the ability to challenge, but also put themselves in a position to be aggressive with where they go and how they go forward. And Cabral, incredibly clever with the play going forward, but he just never stops moving his feet, just continues to climb inside the box, and then clinical with that left-footed finish.
Union Omaha with some bass in their voice, falling behind early and not letting themselves in the slightest get afflicted. Portland have struggled to hang on to leads, and that has proved true again today.
That is a frustrating stat for anybody, and as we see Union Omaha often going again,
Wide for Gutierrez. They've really been picking on this near side, Union Omaha. Not the right measurement on the cross, but no, it did come out clean. Are they giving this a corner? That seemed to be at least the thinking of Diego Gutierrez, but the referee thinking better of it. Goal kick. What are you looking for in terms of the body language for Portland Hearts of Pine as we head down the closing stretch over these last 10 minutes of the half out of play?
I just think it's about how do they regain some of this territory, the proximity. This is a very aggressive group, and there's no question that with the likes of both Kamaras, Ollie Wright, I mean, they have the firepower going forward, but there's just so much separation from that front line to the line that is looking to build and get through the phases. So can you start to, with this final 10 minutes, kind of assert yourself and anticipate some of these plays, these broken plays, they're kind of causing you a lot of the havoc.
Having a pop, and it really isn't too troublesome for Hunter Morse. Aron Gomez slashing wide. Select is proud to be the official match ball supplier of the USL Championship for the grassroots, for the pros. Select is there every step of the way. Visit us.select-sport.com. With Select product specials and more, Eric, I'm told, Select, it's the player's choice.
For somebody that has used a Select ball throughout his college coaching career, it is the player's choice, and they do a tremendous job in what they continue to do for this league as well.
Strong advertisement.
Yeah, I will add for the Cabral goal, Marlon Vargas. I mean, we highlighted him in the lineup. He gets his first assist in his first start. Cabral, his second goal on the season, and a goal against AV Alta.
Rich get richer. There's a reason why Union Omaha have 2 titles in this league and can withstand the loss of somebody like a Dom Casciano, who then said, yeah, I like my team. We won a championship. Let's go get a couple of those guys. Tampa Bay Rowdies. You look at the additions, Marlon Vargas, and then on top of that, Alan Cavallanas being brought in on loan. This is a really well-built Union Omaha team that haven't been complacent about adding talent wherever they can, as the foul is called. Kamali Green. JT Kamara pivoting. His pass lands at the feet of Abubakar Kamara, who's hardly touched the game today. Diego Gonzalez taking a bump. Foul called.
And this is going to be a lot of where Portland want to thrive going into the break is how do you eliminate defenders with a decisive, detailed pass like that. You put yourself in a position where you can then play facing goal and earn yourself a very dangerous set piece.
Portland compelled to try and draw level. It was just drifting the whole way, and a shove in the back by Brack Evans will end the threat. Both center backs stacked up there on that left-hand quadrant of the box. It looked like something might be coming off the menu in terms of the play calls from the set pieces, and maybe the ball wasn't quite as good as it needed to be.
You get that physical presence, that aerial duel right there along the wide side. Looking for a ball played across the face of goal.
Portland needing to win some of these 50-50s here. Another tackle, and that will finally cross the threshold of what considers a yellow card for Denny Kolasinac. Looks to be shown to Kamali Green. It's been knock and thrust, and you felt like that might be coming.
And right now, everything for Portland is reactionary. They're getting themselves back into plays, but they're doing it where they're chasing the game, they're chasing the ball. You see that yellow card tackle, and in a valuable position, in a position where a lot of play is going to be determined in that central part of the field. So Lopez is going to have to be very measured from here on out.
And on top of all that, they've already been leaning down that flank. Almost all of what Omaha have been doing has come down this near-hand touchline.
Just continues to add to the fluidity that Union Omaha are playing with. And that's where for both teams, they have their identity, they have their principles, but there is flexibility to the way that you present that to your opponent, and that's what both these teams are adjusting to.
Chipped into the back stick. It's a clever little plan. Will it come off the bicycle attempt and cleared? There was a foul in the commotion anyway, and a yellow card coming the other direction. Samuel Owusu picking up a yellow in the opposite box.
Yeah, isn't that a rare sight? Center back picking up a yellow card in the attacking box. And anytime you go with the bicycle attempt in a crowded area, you do have a chance for that outcome, because everybody is around you is attempting to win possession with their head, and whether it's in the air, and Owusu just going to leave his feet, and you see Lopez with the down press and the challenge. Now you have a player for each of the team pick up a first half yellow in vital areas of the field.
It's been an eye for an eye kind of night, as Mikey Lopez, who's just now getting back to real full fitness, such an important part of this Portland team, is back up to his feet, thankfully for Bobby Murphy. This yellow card is brought to you by the law offices of Joe Bornstein. Owusu, the offender. Just to maybe zoom back in on Mikey Lopez and his import to what Portland have done. Their captain, when he starts the last 2 years in the league, Eric, 12 wins, 13 draws, and 6 losses. When he doesn't start, only 4 victories, 4 draws, and 7 losses. So quite the disparity, and if we're talking about organization, maybe nobody more important than him.
Yeah, in this day and age where we live in advanced analytics and so many different numbers and metrics that you can look at on the field, I mean, when you have a winning pedigree and a winning characteristic built into your game, and that is the way that you can influence matches, some of those loud moments that present themselves, you're there, you're settled, you're composed.
Mikey Lopez has talked to us and other venues about how he wants to be a coach, and for a manager like Bobby Murphy, who's been so instrumental in orchestrating his career, even from the earliest stages, coming here out of the USL Championship, getting to be a part of this program. Yes, he's an important figurehead in this team, absolutely, but he's thinking about his future, and that is another example of how this Portland program is operating, thinking about how they can give that little extra something to everybody who touches this organization. Definitely a managerial career, you would think, if Mikey Lopez wants it, on the horizon someday to come. Right now, though, he's right in the middle of the mix in a very hotly contended midfield.
And what he's going to have to solve right now is how to get this midfield detached from this back line in the moments that they do go forward, because they are having to do a lot of work up and down the field.
Slaloming in, a back heel into the middle and tucked home, but the flag is up for offside. It was Marlon Vargas who saw his name up in lights. That dream is snatched right away from him.
What a first start Marlon Vargas is having. We see him playing heavily central, and he just leaves just a bit early there.
JT Kamara. Kamara Green means go for him. He paves it wide. The ball was a little bit too narrow. Again, it's that final action for Portland.
Well, he just never got that final commitment from that last defender to tuck in, get compact. He just released.
They're getting the big boys forward. Center backs up for the throw-in. Both Evans and Kamali Green screening the goalkeeper and commanding 4 defenders here. Missing out on the first point of contact and smashed out of touch. No nonsense. Maybe it'll stay on. No, it's traveled over the line. Throw-in to come. The USL Championship and League One are on the CBS Sports and ESPN platforms all season long. Catch live matches, expert analysis every day on the CBS Sports Golazo Network and ESPN Plus. Go to USLChampionship.com, USLLeague1.com for the complete USL TV listings. Able to see both the USL League One and the USL Championship on the national stage a lot these days. Very exciting stuff. Just got to see Portland play the CBS Sports Network last week against AC Boise. Talk about getting a taste of your own medicine for Portland, who have welcomed so many teams to the teeth of this environment. AC Boise have matched them in kind. Another instance, Eric, where Portland found the lead, given in very different circumstances, ended up giving it back in pretty quick succession. That's been the case here today.
Well, and I love what Bobby Murphy told us this week is everything that happens in your life, you are a part of. So you're a part of when you go up that goal, but you're also a part of making sure that you're able to see that game out. And I agree with him wholeheartedly. When you look at this season, this Portland Hearts of Pine team is just a few moments away from where they currently are, sitting outside of the playoff picture, to being in contention for a top 4 position because of the way that they've been able to play, but they just have not been able to see some of these games out.
I believe the exact quote was Bobby Murphy said, "We're like 10 points away from being second right now," or 10 minutes, I should say. And speaking of, we are into 4 minutes of Springer's Jewelers stoppage time, and maybe Portland want to excavate a leveler before this comes to expire. Union Omaha digging away in their own right. Off the head of Mikey Lopez, misses out on the first ball, sticks with it. Gathered out by Kadiri, who tap dances out of a tackle and tries to take it round Jaden Jones-Riley, who doesn't give an inch. It's out for a throw.
And for Bobby Murphy and his side, I mean, I don't want to say any team's ever going to be pleased to be down 2-1, but they're also going to have a feeling of there is so much more out there for this game, for them in this match. As see them concede a free kick, but they got to make sure they stay tidy here to finish up this half for sure.
That's a fascinating call. Blake Malone pretty much went up and over. He's the only player that left his feet. He wins a dangerous free kick, and here's how it looks. I mean, the referee's right there.
And it looks like Diego Gonzalez clearly playing the ball, never takes a peek over his shoulder, so nothing malicious there.
I'm
the referee right there.
Yeah.
And obviously Portland feeling hard done from that call, and I think we would all agree. But that's that mentality switch. Okay, you concede the free kick, got to stay locked in. You're just a few moments away from the break. Got to keep this game at 2-1 if you're not able to find a leveler.
And this is awfully dangerous. And by Cabral. And it's knotted out over Frank. Kind of surprised he didn't go for goal from that area.
Well, it seems like from those restarts in that area, and maybe it is something for them where they start to set up going more central, to your point, is they have drifted that ball more into the half spaces, let that far runner get onto it, try to ping it back towards the face of goal, and maybe that sets them up for some of the free kicks later in this game where they can go central, maybe threaten in those areas. I would just go back to it. For
JT Kamara lassoing, first touch, he's poked it off the post. It comes so quickly for Portland, and Kamara inches away from equalizing. Man, oh man.
And there's that, because I was just about to say, for Portland, it's about regaining possession in the attacking half, but also being ruthless in the ball and punishing in the ball when you have that regain. And that was the definition of it right there. They regain possession higher up the field, and they are right in the Union Omaha box, and JT Kamara almost able to tuck that one away. What an equalizer that would have been right before the break. But that's the portion of this match that Bobby Murphy and his side are going to look at. Say, if we can regain possession higher up the field, and that starts with initial pressure, but a lot of it, the reinforcement behind that initial pressure, becomes so important.
There is a Union Omaha player down, and we are past the 4 minutes allotted for stoppage time, but there have been pauses in that. Portland do have a free kick, and you would imagine at least 15 to 30 seconds on the backside of that to potentially get an equalizer here in the flotsam and jetsam of a fast-flying first half at its concluding phase. Union Omaha might be forced down to 10 men here because of how long the injury stoppage has been. If you're Vincenzo Candela, likely not going to want to make a change ahead of halftime.
Yeah, and that's where organizing this away from the ball, and this is the challenge that gets them back on the ball, and they're able to go forward. And know it's a bit of a hopeful ball, but when that hopeful ball is met with an intentional run, that is where those plays begin to kind of pay dividends and come to fruition, as we do see Cabral up. He is coming along the sideline. But away from this play, you know Union Omaha is organizing themselves and how they're going to defend.
So it's down to 10 men as Cabral is off for the time being. Portland have had plenty of time to write down a blueprint. Plotting and scheming and conniving ideas in the eyes right now of JT Kamara. They've been second best for the majority of this period. That won't matter if they draw blood. You're beyond the 4 minutes of stoppage time given for this first half. JT Kamara for Portland Hearts of Pine to the top of the box. And it is left with way too much of a line of sight. And that'll be a yellow card for Ollie Wright for stopping a promising break. The moment that nearly got the equalizer aside, not the best first half for JT Kamara, and this is the most recent example. I tell you what, Ollie Wright might be fortunate that's only yellow.
He unfortunately has not seen a lot of involvement on the ball in the final third. And that ball was able to travel quite a bit of distance before it was met defensively, so it just feels like there was some sort of miscue in terms of where the run was starting and where the pass was intended. So we see the impact that Ollie Wright has had throughout this season. I can only imagine that not only do you go into the break and make some adjustments, fine-tune some things from Portland's side of it, but you also try to get Ollie Wright more involved, whether it's him dropping down a line, getting involved in the build-up.
Eric, he's their main man. The stats bear it out. Only 15 touches in this half, and as it comes to its conclusion, the big one, he's carried the ball a negative distance of 1.7 meters. They're going to need him in a much bigger way in this half. He's been going the wrong direction. So have the Portland Hearts of Pine, and they trail by a goal at the break.
Yeah, and I think a big part of that is connecting the lines, because the other telling stat is touches in the opposition box. 14 right now for Union Omaha, only 4 for Portland.
A lot to dig into, needless to say, at halftime, and that is what's coming up. Coverage from the break when we return. Portland Hearts of Pine strike first, then get stricken back by a factor of 2. Union Omaha, one of the league's best, showing why here on the road in the state of Maine. We do the dissection when we come back. Halftime coverage on the other side of a break.
This is the boot that started it all. When you think of LL Bean, you think of the Bean boot. LL, our founder, was an avid hunter and fisherman. He wanted to develop something that could keep his feet warm and dry. Since 1912, 113 years ago, the Bean boots are still handmade right here in Maine. We have so many variations of the original Bean boot. We literally have a Bean boot for everyone, every type of style.
This spring, invest in your nest with the County Federal Credit Union. Your home has grown in value season after season. With the county's 10-10 Home Equity Line of Credit, you can borrow up to your credit limit over 10 years with interest-only payments over those 10 years, 10-10. And then you can stop and smell the roses, soak up the sun, and invest in your nest. The 10-10 Home Equity Line of Credit, the County Federal Credit Union, countyfcu.org.
At the break, and at the halftime report, Union Omaha out a goal in front of Portland Hearts of Pine despite an early goal from the home side. Has us in a very interesting place here in the state of Maine. With the coach, Eric Dobransky, I'm Peyton Geller, and here's a look at what's coming up for the Portland Hearts of Pine. Upcoming schedule, as this is presented by the High Roller Lobster Company, and pretty interesting to see a couple of friendlies mixed in here in the slate of games over the next month or so. At Sarasota, that's on July 29th, following the league tie against them on the 26th, and then it's against MLS Next Pro side CT United.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting spell of games for Portland because you have playing a number of teams that are right below you in the playoff picture and the playoff hunt, and then you start to play some teams that you're chasing right now. So as we kind of kickstart the business portion of the season, these points just become so valuable, and maximizing those outputs is so important.
This could be their springboard if they're able to knock off Union Omaha today, because as you said, all three teams that they play coming up in the league are well below the playoff line and might be some of the easier meat in the division if there is such a thing so far this year. The team of the week from this last week in the division looks like this, as the chosen 11 for those matches will feature a couple of familiar faces. One of them, Sergio Ors-Navarro, has been heavily involved so far in this game. For Portland Hearts of Pine, you'll see Hunter Morris there on the bench after those 6 saves against AC Boise.
Big performance from Spokane Velocity. Goalkeeper Sean Lewis. I mean, this is a team that is right above Portland in the playoff picture. They're going to want to continue to pick up points. And Scott McKenzie for Chattanooga, the job that his team is doing and continuing to do throughout this season, right in that playoff hunt.
Of course, Portland fans will hate to see Thomas Among's face after what he did to them in that game against Boise. Late goal, late assist, and it is those fine margins that Portland are worrying about. They'll have to make up a margin in the second half, but for now, we set to step aside a couple more halftime thoughts on the other end of a couple of commercials. Stay tuned.
Pero falta gol y estamos a esperar a un gol. ¿Hugo Sánchez? Sí, tira para adelante. ¿Quién maneja? ¿Un futbolista? ¡Llegamos por fin! ¡Ay, bendito sea el chapar, doctor! Hugo, ¿regreso a las canchas? ¿Algún consejo?
Sí, confía y cree en ti.
¡Ey! ¡Vas al norte! A donde me den la oportunidad, pero listo para dar el paso. ¡Listo, vámonos!
This is your moment.
You ever just look at them and think, yeah, I'm doing all right.
This summer, get 1,000 bonus points and a chance to win 250,000 bonus points.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
Prinks tires in the USL help soccer journeys everywhere to drive harder. From city playgrounds to suburban sidelines, from early mornings to late nights, from fun with friends to winner takes all, from the biggest fan to the biggest heart. And at every turn, Prinks tires will be there for the long haul.
Allagash White. Citrusy, smooth, tastes like it's naturally occurring here in Maine. Allagash, from Maine with love.
It is halftime in League One. We hope you're enjoying the match. I'm Dan Lucas inside the USL studio with a look at the headlines. No club had a better week last week than the Chattanooga Red Wolves, who notched a pair of victories over top 4 teams in League One. It began with a 1-0 victory over AV Alta and finished with a big 4-2 win over Charlotte Independence, ending Charlotte's run of 14 straight matches without a defeat in all competitions. Fort Wayne FC staged a beautiful tribute to the late John Bellio, one of the club's co-founders. Bellio lost his battle with cancer in 2025. To honor Bellio, Fort Wayne will make this night an annual event, with proceeds going to Cancer Services of Northeast Indiana. On the field, Fort Wayne defeated Greenville Triumph 3-0, and a late substitution featured 16-year-old Johnny I. At 16 years, 12 days old, I is the youngest player to see game action for an independent League One club. National Spotlight games in League One and the Championship next Saturday. Tampa Bay Rowdies hosting Louisville City on ESPN2. August 5th, Richmond Kickers hosting New York Cosmos on CBS SN. Then on the 8th, Monterey Bay hosts New Mexico United on CBS SN. This is the USL Halftime Update. Let's get you back out to your match.
Thanks for that, Dan. Such good look at the vibrance of what's going on around the USL ecosystem. As for our game, it's 2-1 here at the Hannaford Halftime Report. And for what's going on around the division right now, this is presented by Visit Maine in a battle in the state of New York. It's 1-0 to Westchester, a surging team in the USL League One, and a big marquee matchup tonight at 9 p.m. on ESPN+. Spokane Velocity just inside that playoff line against Charlotte Independence, one of the best teams in the league at this point in the year.
Well, Charlotte Independence just scoring at a rate unseen. I mean, they are flying offensively, but Spokane Velocity so consistent in performances. In Westchester, timely goal from Bobby Pierre, his first of the season, put his team up 1-0. And Westchester only has one loss when scoring first, so important result right there on the line.
You just pull that off the top of your head? That's high-level research. #analysis from Eric Dobransky. As for the upcoming games at the weekend, Saturday schedule presented by High Roller Lobster Company, and your eyes immediately shoot to that game in the Volunteer State. Chattanooga on the charge, making up those games in hand against One Knox, who is the team that's just ahead of Union Omaha, right now leading the table, last year's champion.
And right now, Chattanooga under the playoff line, but they have a true possibility of possibly pulling themselves away from that 10th place and below if they can pick up a full 3 points. Not going to be an easy task. And obviously, AC Boise trying to climb and sustain themselves in a top 4 position. So that game against New York Cosmos is going to be big. And then Spokane Velocity just continue their road against top-tier opponents. Fort Wayne is starting to string some solid points together.
If Chattanooga can win that one, it would be 3 consecutive wins against teams that were inside the top 4 when they played them. Scott McKenzie has got the boys buzzing. And as you said, that Forward Madison game against FC Naples on Galazzo. Again, another moment to see this league on full display on a national network. Very exciting stuff indeed. Our second half is coming up here in the state of Maine. All the excitement leading up to an important 45 minutes here in this one between Portland Hearts of Pine and Union Omaha. It's 2-1 for now. We'll see if that changes when we return.
We love it here. It's home.
We move differently here. Not in a rush, but in rhythm. We rise with the tide, cook with our hands, and speak when it matters. We pass on what's felt more than said. We laugh by firelight and stop to notice what others once saw. Every moment here means more because nothing is taken for granted. This is Maine, rooted in time, forged by nature.
I'm David Libby, President and CEO of Town & Country Federal Credit Union. At Town & Country, we work hard to make a difference every day. From providing a first auto loan to that young adult just starting out, or making the dream of home ownership a reality with a mortgage offering closing costs well below nearly every other local lender, or a Visa credit card with a great rate. Town & Country Federal Credit Union is local people helping local people. Let us help you.
Tonight's match is presented by Allagash Brewing Company. Is where we sit. The halftime stats are brought to you by Town & Country. 3 shots on target. They put 2 in the back of the net. They have been clinical, Union Omaha. Portland needs to maybe generate a little bit more heading into this second frame.
Yeah, no way did we think that Portland was going to win the possession battle, nor did they. And I think it's really about what they're doing after defensively. They are winning some big moments defensively, but they're just not able to reward themselves with any sort of outlet or progressive run forward. Towards the end of that half, we did see that ball over the top to Kamara that came off the post. But Union Omaha doing a good job defensively of jumping the lanes, finding another level, putting pressure, but then also being very decisive with their first ball entry, and that is where Portland is suffering a bit. Make some adjustments here at halftime and see what both teams come out with. And then this has been a back and forth match in terms of the ebbs and flows and the momentum shifts, and Union Omaha is going to want to kind of temper that down here in the second half.
Rest assured, those folks that you just saw will not lose their voice no matter what happens, but they'd like to start yelling about this guy, Ollie Wright. 15 touches in that first half. He only lost the ball twice. The problem is he's not been able to get going into any dangerous areas.
And that's why this Union Omaha side is going to want to temper this crowd here in the second half. They don't want to give them any hints of coming back to life in this match where their team is able to play on the front foot, be very aggressive, cause that chaos that Bobby Murphy wants his squad to cause opponents.
The engine was already revving in the first frame. Then you add on top of it, these are the 2 highest scoring teams in the league in the second half, and this thing really could get put into sport mode, if you will, in this next 45 minutes. Mateo Kidd has just come on, and a flick on header straight away by the goal scorer, Diego Gonzalez, and it hits straight at Cole Jensen, and that was the chance to make it 2-2.
Well, right on cue, my friend. They start fast, and they're able to get themselves in the attacking third. They are going to play with an urgency we weren't privy to in the first half already.
Diogo Barbosa also getting pushed into the game in lieu of Michel Poon-Andron, so it's a change of the pivot for Bobby Murphy, and that feels intentional to say the least. Thought for a moment with Mikey Lopez coming out, might have been injury related, an older player who struggled to stay fit, looked like he picked up a bit of a knock, but you add on top that Barbosa's coming in. That's both of the lower line midfielders, and I guess in your estimation, the question that needs to be asked is why?
Well, we talked about it in the first half, their ability to connect both lines, that back line, that forward line, not only defensively and sitting in front of the back line, but their ability to climb the field in some of those big moments, because you felt like Diego Gonzalez was kind of left on an island in some of those duels in those areas. He managed the first half, now come out in the second half, give it a new look, freshen up that midfield, kind of provide Union Omaha with some different questions.
That one getting aired out by Breck Evans. No. As he nods it over the line. Just telling his teammates to switch on. Not sure if that was directed at Hunter Morse directly, but it's a corner kick coming. And it's a useful ball indeed, knocked out. And then punched back by Evans once more. A throw-in to come for Union Omaha. It is so cliche, it might just be obvious, but the team that scores the next goal, that's the thing that matters the most. Gutierrez prancing toward the top of the area, now lifting a ball into the middle. Again, it's Breck Evans. And JT Kamara picking up the pieces. He's danced away from one tackle, and now he's located his friend Ollie Wright. Ollie Wright on the 1-2. It landed with a thud on the boot of Diego Gonzalez and didn't come off. That was the exact area where he scored that harrowing hat-trick goal against Union Omaha a year ago. I believe all 3 goals were towards this end of the stadium on that day for Ollie Wright. They call him the rude and the ruthless one. He started that day. Breck Evans. Diogo Barbosa strongly away from the first tackle of Sergio Ors Navarro. Now track. This is already better from Portland.
Well, the lines are connected. Their availability and the way that they're collective in the attacking half is already a different look than what we saw through 45 minutes. And we've already seen it pay dividends. We've already seen it with a lot of opportunities and some final third entries that weren't present, and sustainability on the ball.
Kamara, fire in his eyes. Lining up Gadiri, goes down in the box. There was a leg left out. Maybe Kamara made the most of it. Nonetheless, it's a surging counter for Union Omaha. The Owls with eyes wide open. Sergio Ors Navarro, that was hit hard. Another block for Kamali Green.
Good dribble and drive here. And like Sammy Gadiri leaves that right foot, right leg out extended. I do believe the referee sees that ball already away.
Jensen somewhat loose with the first touch, has to dispatch quickly. There is no video assisted referee at this level. So that is that. Ollie Wright goes down in the heap, advantage being played. Gonzalez carving in, Kamara blocked. Now JT Kamara is blocked again. It's a corner on the horizon, and Portland lifting the blood pressure. They go quick.
And I know JT Kamara wanted that first time, but felt like that opportunity, he didn't need an additional touch.
Nodded back in. Abubakar Kamara over the top. Jensen hesitated. He's fortunate to put gloves on it and bodies down in the goal mouth. Again, Diogo Barbosa was the one that was throttling in.
And you don't mind this foul because it just showcases the aggressiveness that Portland is playing with right now in the final third, in the attacking 8-yard box. You brought some players on. We've talked about some of the rotational changes, some of the starting lineup changes. But what you get in the early season when you have to make those kind of changes is clarity, understanding, role recognition, the execution. And both these players in Barbosa and Mateo Kidd have come on, kind of ramped up the pressure on Union Omaha. We'll remind everybody that Poon Andrag, he had the pressure that led to the turnover to the goal for Portland. So he was able to climb the field in a lot of dangerous situations as well.
He did have an assist off the bench last game, Mateo Kidd. Ollie Wright, what a touch! Ollie Wright laid off! Abubakar Kamara still fighting! It's blocked. I think Abubakar Kamara has already touched the ball more inside the penalty box than he did the entire first half. Of course, Portland did just add Dylan Singh in on loan from Indy 11 to bolster that front line. He scored last game against Boise. So there are ways of reinforcements to roll in. Kamara may not need them. Taken off his toes by Wusu. So we got to talk to Vincenzo Candela before the game today. He called out Mateo Kidd by name as a player that could impact this one. Coming in out of the halftime intermission. It seems like, in many ways, him and Barbosa have changed the entire complexion.
Well, you already see the energy in both boxes, the intent to influence both boxes. And this is the tempo that you like, but you also have to find a way to sustain it throughout this second half. You see final third entries, 10-2, and the numbers have completely flipped here to start this second half, but now you need to reward yourself.
Looping ball in towards the corner away by Brack Evans. Drac can't finalize that clearance. Aaron Gomez shielded off by Barbosa, and Hunter Morse, albeit arriving maybe a little bit fashionably late, if you will claim it for Portland.
And with all the energy that you're playing with right now, you do still have to play that delicate balance between pushing this tempo, finding the equalizer, but also being careless and casual with some of the turnovers and some of the marking and rest defense.
Tossed in. A little bit lax defensively from Portland. Sergio Ors-Navarro chopped back in by Vargas. Another block put in, this time Jaden Jones-Riley. So now it's slanting the other way.
Well, if Portland is able to come back and equalize, we're going to go back to that play right there from Jones-Riley, depending on how this second half plays out, but that is a massive intervention. What link-up play here.
Swaggering along Union Omaha, into the middle, Ors-Navarro making up his mind, rolling wide for Vargas. Back in on the 1-2, Hunter Morse puts out a shin pad and saves the day, and Portland are on their way. JT Kamara. There was an avenue in front, and it still might be there. Relentless. A yellow card to come, and everybody is out of their seat at Old Fort Fitzy. Breathe. Sam Gadiri trying to do his very best to achieve that goal.
Going good initial defending, and then you get Gadiri back in the play, but it does evolve into the feeling that a foul was necessary, and maybe you do know that you're about to come off and be substituted, so a yellow card is not going to necessarily affect the way that you have to see out the rest of this game.
That is Cameron Lawrence coming on. One of only 2 collegiate rookies in this Union Omaha team, and I gotta imagine he's never seen an environment like this. Only 5 minutes for him in the last game against Westchester.
I'm sure many players have seen an environment like this. I mean, this is tremendous support in an atmosphere and in a community that knows their games. They know when their team needs them to push them through some of the difficult moments that matches present.
Drawing back the bow, Portland Hearts of Pine into the middle, away by Wusu. Ollie Wright went at it first time on the half volley, didn't take, nearly gets it back. In fact, he does. Barbosa has his pocket picked right back. No honor among thieves. Lawrence Wooten. Portland are applying massive pressure right now to the 18-yard box, already getting Eric so much more access than they did in the first frame.
And that speaks to two elements. First, how aggressive you are with that pass right there. That first pass, you get the regain, but what do you do with it? Do you have to go sideways? Do you have to go backwards? But also the recognition in the positional play from Portland right now, the ability and availability that they have on those outlet passes.
Stashed in behind, over the top for Ollie Wright. Waiting on it at the back post was Cameron Lawrence. And all things considered, did pretty well, but it's a quickly fashioning corner. The County Federal Credit Union, the one that presents it. More directly, it will be presented into the area by Ollie Wright. Back post, again, winning the ball in the air. It's Owusu. JT Kamara picked out a corner. It's loose for a moment. Can't imagine that the heart of Cole Jensen beat even once with the ball in the lurch.
Well, you're fighting to locate this ball through all of this traffic. Keeps it close enough to get that ball right back into his hands. Those are moments right there for Portland that you want to grow into this match. What a ball over the top.
Boris Navarro, 1v1, can't dig it out. End to end, who wants it more?
Union Omaha firmly aware of the point that you made to kick off the second half. And I know you said it's obvious, but it is obvious from the sense that it is a story consistently told in the game of football. When you have a scoreline at 2-1 and you have the ebbs and flows and the momentum shifts, that next goal is imperative. And you could see Union Omaha so dedicated to try to get this third goal, but absorbing a lot of pressure from Portland.
Both teams showing precisely who they are at the hour mark. Sounded like a whistle went for a moment. Still loose. May have come from the crowd. Hammered away. Gutierrez attaching himself, invited forward. Wide it goes. Looks like they've swapped fullbacks potentially. With Budati going to the left, they haven't gotten him very involved so far. Again, the league's leader in open play crosses by a massive margin. Hooked down a play for a throw. The band keeping the beat behind the Hearts. Even barricaded into their own final third. Those notes shrilling out of the grandstands at Fitzpatrick Stadium. Ripped shot, it's saved away by Hunter Morse. Aaron Gomez got that clean.
Oh, we've mentioned Ollie Wright on one side in the first half, not getting a lot of touches. Gomez, this is some of his first involvement in the match, and just blasts that left-footed, but a lot of his work has been that thankless running that opens up space for teammates.
It was in for Vargas, but looked like the flag popped up for offside just on Gomez. 2 goals for him in the last 3 games in all competitions. He's got every right to be confident here.
And he's got every right to command the attention of an opponent's back line.
Making a smart run. Hit non-alc beer is bold, full-flavored, and brewed to keep you in the
Soccer
game.
season is here, and SeatGeek is the official ticketing partner of the USL. Get all your USL tickets and more from the #1 ticketing site, SeatGeek. Your ticket to great seats, and it looks like a couple of Union Omaha players didn't like their seats on the bench. Changes being made. Brent Coleman coming on, as well as Pato Botello Foz, and that is a very different type of number 9. Now, for Vincenzo Candela, Botello Foz, only 1 goal for him over the last 12 games. That being said, even in the estimation of his manager, his job really isn't to score the goals. He opens up everything for Union Omaha with his ability to hold center backs in check. Again, Pato Botello Foz coming on with Brent Coleman at center back. Down by Sergio Ors-Navarro. Only right there to provide the cover, and picks out a worldie of a ball. A hard charging tackle put in by Sergio Ors-Navarro. And there's no foul called. Turned in towards the corner. Pato Botello Foz unable to do anything with it.
See Ors-Navarro signaling to his bench after this tackle. We've seen a lot of down pressing from Ors-Navarro. The work rate to get back in the play defensively. Saw it in the first half.
It did look like Sergio Ors-Navarro all but stepped straight on the heel of Diego Gonzalez. Referee again was right on top of it, so you trust his vision over your own. Sergio Ors-Navarro still down. Here's a look back at that coming together with Diego Gonzalez. And Sergio Ors-Navarro is still ailing. A lot to look at. It does look like he almost stepped around the leg and got the ball, but whatever happened there looks like it's taken something out of him.
Yeah, it does look like that left ankle kind of gets caught up in the turf there after the tackle, after the play, because just a few moments after signaling to his bench that the substitute is probable and might be needed after he gets looked at. As you see Della and his coaching staff discussing their options.
Omaha have already made the 3 changes. And if they are to make a substitution here, it would be their final window of use. But they have been massively effective under Vincenzo Candela in these moments, getting these second-wave players to change games. The most goals from substitutes by any team in the league, Eric, to this point, by 4, having scored 10 this year.
Well, I thought it was fascinating. What he told us this week was when you kind of take that off-season account, you kind of look at everything holistically. For himself and his coaching staff, he wanted to be more decisive. He wanted to be able to influence the game from the bench. Gives so much credit to his coaching staff. Good job of adjusting. But then, most importantly, the roles and the recognition of those players coming on, that they know that their number can be called upon at any moment. They need to be ready and ready to influence the game in a positive manner.
It's fumbled into the path of Barbosa, who's barricaded by 2. Works it out pretty well. Referee says, get up and get on with it. It was Gabriel Cabral who was involved in the tackle. For the time being, it is Union Omaha down to 10. Sergio Ors-Navarro still getting attention. It is a big moment as the foul comes in, and there are about 7,000 some that are going to be pretty unhappy with how things are playing out over the last 4 or 5 minutes, specifically when the man in yellow is involved.
Well, I talked about earlier that this is an intelligent crowd in regards to recognizing the ebbs and flows of a match, and they can see momentum kind of slipping away from their team. They came out firing that first 10-15 minutes, and now Union Omaha has stacked some plays in their favor, kind of regained some of that presence going forward. This crowd knows that they can push this team past this next 5 or so minutes, kind of reclaim. They're only a goal behind.
And it does look like the final changes will be made for Union Omaha. It's Alan Gavilanes, and because this is the last window, Vincenzo Candela furnished with enough reason to make a pair of changes. So it will be Edry Caceres who's coming on as well. And it will be a change at the front end for Portland as the big man Dylan Singh will get his big taste of league action for Portland here at home at Fitzpatrick Stadium. Scored off the bench last game against AC Boise. Two players who started the year with Indy 11 coming on, one for each team, and Gavilanes, and of course Dylan Singh. Bobby Murphy was very excited to welcome Dylan Singh to the fold. They think that with his frame and technical ability, he can offer a lot. And they felt like they could be the team that provided him the opportunity. Maybe he's the diamond in the rough that helps the attack. For Portland, that substitution is brought to you by Springer's Jewelers.
Substitution, number 20, Dylan Singh. For number 9, Abubakar Kamara.
Another tackle by Ollie Wright. Mateo Kitt. Hammered in behind, high off the head of Diego Gonzalez, and nobody there. So this will be the final 11 for Union Omaha, barring one specific instance. If there is a head injury, both teams would be afforded an extra substitution. And Lawrence Wooten better stretch out, because if he can't continue, it's going to be a mighty climb for Union Omaha to defend this lead. Not hot enough to require a hydration break in this game, which has been all too common a refrain throughout the game all summer. You're in the thick of July, where the contenders and pretenders separate like oil and water. Good catch by one of the assistant coaches there on the bench. Nodded along to Gavilanes. What a player he is. 1 goal, 2 assists on the year. Had an assist last game. In fact, he's had assists in the last 3 in all competitions. Not all untoo familiar with the USL League One, having plied his trade for 3 seasons with the Greenville Triumph in their heyday. So often was the enemy of Union Omaha in those days. The great arms race at the early portion of the league's history. A couple years with Miami FC, start of the year with Indy 11. That didn't really take. And now he's here with Union Omaha, making a big impact in the latter stage. Mateo Kitt.
And you can already see it, the versatility that he presents. Typically a wide player, but can play centrally.
Well, that's Harry. Jensen fortunate that that bounced right back to him.
Portland recognizing the space that's in behind this back line. And even though that moment doesn't necessarily come to fruition, it does kind of have that warning shot.
Gavilanes! No warning there. Easy enough for Honor Morris on the catch and the rollout. Heads up, bit of distribution by Big Red, and Portland start to grind the gears toward the attacking half. Ollie Wright, do you want to see him maybe drift into the middle a little bit more here?
Yeah, get himself faced up, play make. I mean, you always see how dangerous he is when he's faced up, dribbling at defenders, because it's such a challenge to be decisive on how you want to approach it. Do you want to close the space? Because if you do that, you know that he can release and play that threaded ball in. And then if you give him too much space, he can pick up some speed and absolutely break away from you.
Foul called in the middle of the field. He's not gone 2 league games without a goal contribution since April 11th. That would be the case if you can't find anything here. 13 goals and assists over the last 15 games in all competitions for Ollie Wright. Again, as we said at the top of the program, he scored more goals in the last 365 days, dating back to late July of last year, than anybody in the division, 13 of them in league play. We'll see if he might be the one presiding over this free kick. Doesn't look to be the case. Portland go quickly. Breck Evans, Mateo Kitt. Final 20 minutes. Portland scored inside the first 10. Saw 2 fly by them, and that's where they are right now. And they have to have it kind of tight. Trickles away between the fingertips of Mateo Kitt at the touchline. There is Ollie Wright. Only the one shot for a player that is never shy about things when he gets a window.
He is a player that you do not want to lose track of, especially in this scenario.
Swept across, hangs a mile high, back skips on. Ollie Wright, heard his name. Might he ring the bell? Mateo Kidd, Drac, jabbing one into the back post, always overhit. Knocked back into the mix, Drac attaching himself once more. Ollie Wright, backboarding touch. Mateo Kidd couldn't funnel it through. Portland, though, stirring up some of this atmosphere. Cameron Lawrence will greet the opportunity to push it as far away as he can. Kamali Green. How much does Union Omaha invite Portland onto them in hopes that they might just present their chin for them very kindly, allow Union Omaha to throw that knockout punch? Barbosa drifting wide for Drac. Instead, it's Ollie Wright who fixes himself to the ball. Ollie Wright in on the right foot. Never fully got himself around it. Barbosa and Drac again. Ollie Wright making the run. And it's another throw-in.
This is sustained tempo from Portland because they're getting themselves back on the ball in defensive interventions.
Drac snaking away. Botello Foz put too much of a body onto him, and it's a free kick. Portland mounting another campaign.
And so much what we saw early on and Union Omaha be so successful at was the awareness, the recognition, and anticipation. But when you present this unpredictability in the final third like Portland has in this half, it is incredibly difficult to not only pick up runners and track them, but to then make decisions on who goes to press the ball. Now can Portland punish them on this attacking free kick?
Nothing but bad thoughts and intentions in that man's mind. Ollie Wright. Ollie Wright punched over goal by Jensen. That was on a line.
Good pace behind it. He probably wanted to put it a little bit more to the right side. Forced Jensen into a more difficult save, but he's still going to get this long throw.
Barbosa the knock on, nobody there to cause issue until Diego Gonzalez popped up on the hop. Muscle toe. Anytime the ball bounces inside the box, anything can happen. It nearly did.
And you wonder if Gonzalez was influenced by that last-minute defending from Union Omaha. It looked like they were closing down on the ball and kind of pulled out of striking net firmly with that right foot.
Bit of acrobatic clearing, but to no avail. It's snapped onto by Gavilanes, who wriggles through the first tackle, stays on his feet. What a run this is. Now it's pulled back. A yellow card to Barbosa with no advantage presenting. The free kick will be awarded by Denny Klasenak. And Barbosa joins the cohort of those booked for Portland.
And good refereeing here, because you almost thought for the moment Gavilanes was going to be better off kind of going down in that moment, but the referee lets play resume, brings it back. Now presenting a dangerous opportunity for Union Omaha. Still plenty of time left in this match.
Now, for all the good offense that Portland have been responsible for in the second half, it is counterbalanced by the fact that they've conceded 19 goals in the second half, which is the most in League One. 9 of those have come in the final 15 minutes. We are in the final 15 minutes and they're trailing. Through the wall, and it comes pretty wide. It's because it got blocks. Cabral entered today with 1 goal. He was looking to leave here with 2 more. And on top of that, as we've said throughout the game, Union Omaha have scored 20 second half goals, which is the most in the league. and 12 in the final 15 minutes, which is, you guessed it, also the league high. And it comes. It was a pretty good ball. It might still be there. Ricocheted out. It was Lawrence who gave it a whack. It's confiscated by Dylan Singh. Kamara making the ball his own, but now he's dispossessed. Striding ahead, that is some ball, and it nearly cut apart the entire defense of Portland. Hunter Morris was the last line. It's all opening up. It's all popping off. It's Ollie Wright. Caceres back to Jensen, who's not been the most confirmed and confident when on the ball in this game. Proof in the point, straight out of play.
It's so intriguing because all 3 goals were in the first half, but more of a touch and go kind of first half. I mean, both teams fighting for momentum, both teams fighting for footing in the game. And this second half has just been up and down, frenetic pace, but no goals thus far, no final product, and that's going to be where both these teams are going to want to benefit from. Obviously for Portland, it would prove to be the equalizer, and for Union Omaha, be that breakthrough that some bit more separation that they want to close out this game.
Drac, Mateo Kidd in a pocket, looking up. Still there, Coleman sticks in, and enough of the contact absorbed to get the call from the referee. It was Dylan Singh who put himself amongst it, and it will be one more change for the Portland Hearts of Pine. The day is done for JT Kamara. He'll be replaced by Konstantinos Georgalidas. Cyprian Wideman sent in a pivotal stretch in not only this game, but Portland's season, and is presented by Springer's Jewelers. Can watch the match, turn on Sirius XM SC 157, North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access on Tuesday nights. Plus your live matches from the USL, MLS, Premier League, and more, all on Sirius XM SC 157, the Sirius XM app. Premier League season just starting to strike up. If you had forgot that that's a thing that happens because that whole World Cup situation was going on.
I hope everybody stays in this football frenzy that we all find ourselves in. This, or to just want games and games every day.
A summer full of soccer memories. Portland trying to leave another in the pockets of their supporters. Down to Lawrence Wooten, doing well to win the second ball, carved in. Nobody's there, just tick shy. Barbosa trying to make use of that fact. On the run and rolling ahead for Ollie Wright. Ollie Wright couldn't muster the courage to go for goal.
And then he scuffs this pass that was meant for that far post runner, Dylan Singh. What a play from Barbosa. Mateo Kidd and Barbosa have done a fantastic job of coming in and being very aggressive in midfield, and what they've done is been able to stack themselves and layer themselves on the ball. You can see Barbosa dropping into that pocket, getting himself on the ball, turned around, and then able to play make from there, and then that allows Mateo Kidd to release, join Diego Gonzalez, who's on the ball.
He finds it at his feet again, now Drac. And the cross is blocked for a corner. Ollie Wright to the flag with urgency. A bit wasteful.
Just so much comfort from Barbosa in those uncomfortable situations when you have tight pressure and you know how valuable possession is, because if you get dispossessed, the opponent's off and running.
10 minutes left, less than. In by Barbosa, Ollie Wright popping up! And he could not sign his name to it. Delivered so deftly. Ollie Wright, a pair of chances in quick succession. How many times have we seen him come in behind like this, Eric, and go to that right-footed fall-away finish, this time trying to play provider?
Well, he has this unique ability to drop in, help defensively, but be so instinctual with his ability to climb the field, get into those areas, and he's going to like the delivery there from Barbosa. And with as much time as left in this match, those are the looks that you want from Portland. And you still haven't developed a clean look for Dylan Singh just yet either. And you know he's a player that is just waiting to make a loud introduction to this game.
I think developed's a really good word to describe what's happened. A lot of these moments for Portland, their chances created have come in chaotic moments where something has just kind of happened for them. Can they set up in the final third and play through Union Omaha? That might be what tells all in a game that really feels like it's having growing determinant force on how this season might go for the Portland Hearts of Pine.
And for something that might present itself within this match with Union Omaha, the human element of wanting to see a one-goal lead out and pick up all 3 points on the road, is you're going to naturally drop into your box deeper and deeper when you get a delivery like that.
Sweeping back in. Again, it was another well-crafted sequence by Union Omaha to get in behind. Looked like Lawrence Wooten, who is in the uncomfortable place once more. Corner kick.
And obviously Union Omaha is going to sprinkle in moments like this where they can get numbers forward, they can generate some quality looks, earn an attacking corner, but defensively, can you get them where they're dropping into their own 6-yard box? And deliveries like that from Barbosa and runs like that from Ollie Wright start to make that happen.
Into the box, saved away by all measures by Hunter Morse. Pure reactions, but not done away with. Thoughts of a shot. A pirouette back to the right foot. Top of the box is blocked by Mateo Kidd. Ollie Wright's on his bike. He's dragged back by Lawrence Wooten. That could be trouble, yellow card. Necessary though.
Oh, you almost thought when Ollie Wright turned himself around and had to kind of go back to his own goal that Wooten had done the job, but obviously feeling the pressure to apply right there. Kind of gets the jersey of Ollie Wright. Going to minimize that transitional threat.
So Wooten goes in the book and Portland go to the front foot. Into the final third. And again, the heavy artillery being ushered into the battle. Kamali Green, Breck Evans both up. Now imperative that Portland get this right because they might be exposed on the break. Jaden Jones-Riley, the right back, over to take the throw. A knock-on header, falling free. Mateo Kidd lost the handle, but does just enough to keep it. Drack knocked on. It looks like it was Singh who was approaching quickly from behind, and now it's loose. Flung away over the head by Jaden Jones-Riley. This is a Union Omaha team that are winning the highest percentage of their duels in the league. They have been second best in a lot of these 50-50s in this half. That seems in many ways to be the reason why Portland have found their way back into it. It goes wide, it goes in, it goes over. They need imagination right now. Portland Hearts of Pine. It's not inspiration.
Well, and this is where we talk about identity and principles being at the foundational approach for both these teams, because that's what you're going to lean into late in matches when you're down a goal. You don't need to go out and make an uncharacteristic play. You don't have to be kind of pushing that envelope and out of character. Stick to what has gotten the collective to this point and just be sharp with the execution as you continue to try to generate some of the attacking opportunities. They're having some success along this left side. Good combination here.
Kidd and Singh. And running onto it, Diego Gonzalez. That is some tackle by Brent Coleman. Stabbed away. Nobody's there to latch on. Singh does just about dig it out for Portland Hearts of Pine. Desperate affair. Ollie Wright in the middle again. Track. Not clever enough to outfox the tackle of Caceres. And they are queuing in mass on the far flank, Los Bujos. Sound thundering down from the grandstand at Fitzpatrick Stadium with Caceres in the midst of it. Cameron Lawrence just knocking the ball about as if nobody were there spectating.
This is where for Portland you don't need volume, you just need quality. So there should not be any panic in what time you have remaining and that you're a goal down. You need to create that one chance, but you also have to put it away. Take your chances.
It's still on. Corposo rising highest off the chest of George Alidas, and it's a throw-in to come. Been a pretty non-stop period. Can't imagine there's going to be too much in the way of stoppage time.
The only stoppage is really Orz Navarro after that tackle at midfield. See Lawrence Wooten went down for a few moments. Look at this fan base.
Enjoying each other's company. Will they enjoy the result? Drac. A javelin down the touchline forces Owusu into action. Throw in for the Hearts. Will they rendition the long throw again?
And what becomes so dangerous for Union Omaha is Dylan Singh's ability to drift out into that wide area. You've seen Ollie Wright have to drop in, play make deeper down the field, centrally sometimes. But Singh is so proper in his ability to recognize what space becomes available. Have to be careful.
Track got through a crowd of three and won a corner. Not a lot of sand left in the top half of this hourglass. There's a corner kick though. Diego Gonzalez hoping to be the author of some moment. Off track. Drac Owusu again. What a performance from him.
And picked up that early yellow card in the first half. Has been measured with not only his approach, but the duels that he's put himself and involved himself in.
He has been the foreman of his own box. Chase towards the end line. Just waiting on that board to go up now. Andrew Parada is our fourth official. Everybody will be looking at him. He'll feel about 12,000 eyes. Launched in like an arrow. Union Omaha hunting a bullseye. Cutting in. Rolled into the dangerous area. Hunter Morris was late to arrive. It's hit the post and cannoned out.
And after all of this, still earn a goal kick. This is emergency defending at its best. Mateo Kidd getting himself back down the field. Obviously Barbosa there. Hunter Moore's brave off his line. Took a lot of the brunt end of that physicality from his own teammate.
4 minutes, that's it. That's all you got. Portland need it desperately. Mateo Kidd trucked through. Stoppage time is presented by Springer's Jewelers, and foul is called. Portland soldier on quickly. Josh Drack. Diego Gonzalez. Breck Evans sifting centrally. Barbosa connecting the play. Barbosa left it wide. Portland Hearts of Pine is proud to team up with our Dirigo partners. Visit Maine, Maine Health, Hannaford, Bernstein Scher, Springer's Jewelers, University of Southern Maine, and Bank of America.
Barbosa has done so much right in this second half, but unable to connect with that and test. Cole Jensen. Obviously, Portland gonna throw all the numbers that they have to find this equalizer, but now it's about the movement and that subtle but deceptive movement that you can generate with the numbers and the proximity that you have. But fouls like this are not gonna help your cause.
Just breaking up the rhythm. Barbosa is already on a yellow card. He might be a little bit fortunate after that hacking effort. Union Omaha are happy either way. Extracting every possible second, and with it, just a little bit of oxygen out of the lungs of this Portland Hearts of Pine group. Sent straight into the corner and out for a goal kick. Everybody forward now. And the odyssey towards the attacking end commences. Drack, straight into the point, knocked down in the D, and Union Omaha the first to punch. A tie-up, shouldn't be any foul in that, but there is. Well, Telefaz looked as if he was going to ground regardless of if Kamali Green was there or not.
He has had minimal influence in the attacking box, but his movement, that physical nature that he plays with, presents Union Omaha with a free kick here at midfield that they will take valuable time off the clock.
Think about what's the math on that? 190 seconds of this stoppage time. At least 60 have been collected, preparing for goal kicks and free kicks for Union Omaha. Just brilliant management. That might be it. Portland just can't touch the game. We are past the 4 minutes given. Now, in theory, all the stoppages in the stoppage time should be heaped on to the end of this. So there should be just a little bit left past E, if you will, in this game. But not much, because that's it. Portland Hearts of Pine strike first. Union Omaha strike harder. What a win for Vinny Candela's bunch, and that is exactly why they are exactly who you think they are.
And they have to be pleased with the response. You can see an early goal. You see the passion and the energy from Vincenzo Candela. He's got to be pleased with his team's overall performance and the way that they were able to see this game out, stick to their identity, but also be clever with some of the moments that this game presented. They had to go vertical and sometimes to relieve some pressure, but did it collectively.
Tonight's man of the match is presented by LL Bean. It is Diego Gonzalez who rolled his sleeves up and got the opening goal. Fortunately for his side, it was not good enough. And Portland Hearts of Pine, who so often have been unable to hold their nerve and get all 3 points from games they've taken the lead in, have that happen again.
And Diego Gonzalez did a tremendous job of keeping himself involved from the opening whistle to the end of this match, making sure that he was asking a lot of challenging questions to Union Omaha. Just Portland unable to find that equalizer here late.
Union Omaha, who came into this game despite their standing in a lofty height in the division, had a losing record on the road. 5 losses, 3 wins. It's another big step to where they are heading. Portland will go back to searching their souls. They lose it on the day, 2-1, falling to the talons of Los Pujols Union Omaha. We have plenty more to come in our post-match breakdown. The final score here tonight, presented by the University of Southern Maine, 2-1 at the Bell's final tooling.
Watches have always held a special place in the way we mark accomplishment. Even long before wristwatches existed, pocket watches were treasured belongings, passed down from one family member to the next. If you're celebrating a milestone or creating one, we'd love to help you find the timepiece that marks it. Visit us in-store, try on your favorites, and let's find that timepiece that will tell your story for years to come.
This is you. When you sign up for Trellis Health, this is your team. Seriously, these people. At Trellis, your primary care provider, physical therapist, pharmacist, health coach, and behavioral health clinician work together for better results. With same-day visits and 24/7, 365 telehealth, your care is primary with us. Become a member today.
Welcome to Trellis Health.
Visit trellishealth.org.
At PAPE, we've dedicated over 50 years to making sure you do better. That means better prices you can always count on. It means you'll find extensive inventory. It means you can expect top-notch service. And most of all, it means you'll work with a team that listens to what you need and makes it a priority. So why are we so driven to make sure you do better? Because at PAPE, the only thing we love more than cars is people.
If you got any breath left, 2 on the final score. Union Omaha win a fast-paced affair here at Fitzpatrick Stadium. 2-1 over Portland Hearts of Pine with the coach, Eric Dobransky, and one very happy gaffer, Vincenzo Candela. I'm Peyton Geller. And Eric, here are the highlights from a game that had quite the plenty of them. Right from the outset, these are presented by Bank of America.
Yeah, now these players trying to catch their breath. This game started out fast and furious. Here in the 9th minute.
This would be the play of the game. It was a giveaway, and it would be Diego Gonzalez, who on the business end of it would visit the back of the net.
And we thought that this was kind of foreshadowing for what was to come, because this was the chaos that Bobby Murphy and his side wanted to engage in throughout the match. But it just was not sustainable from Union Omaha's ability to not only break pressure, but do it with numbers in and around the ball. I mean, you look at it, 5 players there in the final third off of a pick turnover here, getting your opponent back to goal. And then very positive with the runs going forward, that being the equalizer for Union Omaha. And then when Portland tried to find their way out, kind of playing up a level, playing that midfield level, Cabral there picks it up, and then clever from Marlon Vargas, and Cabral just never stops moving his feet, just punishes this one left-footed into that far corner.
It was Ollie Wright, who we thought was going to be the one to be the difference, as he so often has, but just didn't have it tonight.
And we saw the tilt in the second half. He was able to drop in, be that playmaker, be that facilitator, and Dylan Singh came on to kind of occupy some of that kind of half space.
There would be one big save left in it for Hunter Morris, the Kennebec Savings save of the match. I'm not sure if Hunter Morris has any idea how that ball stayed out, but he kept it out.
Hey, solid positional play from the goalkeeper and big intervention there to keep it at 2-1 and give his team a chance to go after that equalizer.
What an affair. What a billboard for what this league can offer. Such an excitement on Wednesday night in the state of Maine. Full-time stats are presented by Maine Health. Portland had more than enough chances to win this game, but Union Omaha will say much of the same. Back and forth, 2 good teams.
Well, we knew that it was going to be based on which team could navigate the suffering that every match is going to present, but also take advantage of the opportunities that did present themselves, and Union Omaha able to do just that. Portland just unable to move that final piece. They were unable to move that final defender in the second half. You have to like the energy and the aggressiveness they played, just unable to find that equalizer.
The moments that mattered belong to the Nebraskans, and Los Pujols wise enough to win the day. Portland Hearts of Pine go down at home, and they have a long road to hoe to get back above the playoff line. But for now, we say so long from the state of Maine. For my partner, Eric Dobransky, and our entire fantastic casting crew here, Ivan Peyton Geller, 2-1 is your final score. A game that left you wanting more. More is to come. The USL League One season rolls on, but for now, we say happy trails from Portland. Again, the final score here today, 2-1 Union Omaha on the league's elite and proving it. We'll talk to you soon, folks. What a game.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent of the United Soccer League.